Hello, welcome to Dr. G podcast, where I analyze global or pertinent issues that are happening around the world. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button and the bell sign so that you can be updated when I release my new videos. Today we're going to be talking about Iran and the recent happenings regarding the UN Security Council vote to trigger the snapback sanction against Iran based on the claim that Iran is violating the JCPOA and the NPT, which is the Non-Proliferation Treaty that Iran is part of. Germany, France, and the UK went to the Security Council to trigger these snapback sanctions. Russia and China are opposed to it. Essentially, Russia and China are saying that they will not abide by those sanctions, that the process through which those sanctions were triggered is illegal. So today I want to sort of analyze the key points here. So firstly, I want to express my grave disappointment with Sierra Leone and Somalia. These African countries voted alongside the Western nations, which I believe are acting in bad faith against Iran. And this is why I think that the Western nations are acting in bad faith against Iran. Now, they claim that Iran is not abiding by the JCPOA agreement and the Non-Proliferation Treaty. I think this is a false narrative that they are peddling. Iran was abiding fully with the JCPOA in 2015 when Trump unilaterally pulled out of that agreement that was negotiated by Obama. The same US, in collaboration with Israel, bombed nuclear facilities, which is dangerous, and also a violation of international law. These European countries who are supporting these sanctions that are triggered, one, have never fully abided by the provisions of that JCPOA agreement. They never fully lifted sanctions from Iran. They never condemned the bombing of Iranian nuclear facilities by the US and Israel. What most of them were saying, the UK, Germany, and France, that Israel had the right to defend itself, even if it was violating international law, bombing nuclear facilities, which is dangerous. Iran also recently signed an agreement on modalities to begin to resume cooperation with the IAEA. Just recent, before the snapback sanctions, a vote was carried out on the snapback sanctions on Iran. So that means it really doesn't matter what Iran does. Iran may be acting in good faith, but these European countries and the West are not acting in good faith because it doesn't matter what Iran does to satisfy them. First of all, we all remembered how Iran was negotiating with the US, and the US encouraged Israel to bomb Iran during negotiation. Iran has, to the amazement of so many and to the criticism, including myself, of so many around the world regarding its cooperation with IAEA, they still went back and signed that agreement. Yet all this moves that Iran is making does not make any difference to these people, because the end goal for them is not about Iran abiding by anything, because they themselves don't abide. They are not to be trusted. The US cannot be trusted. The Europeans cannot be trusted. So it is not about Iran signing any agreement or negotiating with anybody. Iran was in negotiation with the US and they got bombed. I think the goal here is regime change. Benjamin Netanyahu has been calling for the destruction of Iran for over 30 years, and that is the end goal for these people. So it doesn't matter what Iran does. So I think that the global South countries need to see through this hypocrisy of the West and make sure that we're not lending ourselves to this their nefarious agenda. That's why I'm highly disappointed in Sierra Leone and Somalia. I don't know what their strategic thinking about this issue is, that they voted to support the West in bringing about that. I don't believe that already China and Russia will not support whatever sanction. They will not abide by it. So that's a given. But Iran must be prepared for another war. Essentially, what these countries, especially Somalia and Sierra Leone, have done is that they've helped these nefarious actors in the West to create a condition to attack Iran. So what they're going to do next is to begin to claim that, hey, Iran is a threat, Iran is not abiding by NPT or JCPOA, even though we all know who the violators are, who the criminals are. It is not Iran. It has never been Iran. So Iran needs to be prepared for another attack from these guys because they've already created the conditions. And the US and the Europeans and Israel are working together to launch another attack so that they can balkanize Iran and destroy Iran and turn Iran to another Syria. They don't want any opposition force against Israel. Israel wants to be the dominant force there so that they can go around and bomb people at will, anyhow, anywhere they are. As we've seen their recklessness in Qatar, all around the Middle East. And right now they're even talking about going after Hamas leaders in China, which will be a suicidal mission. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you. Bye-bye.